Hi, my name is Lindsay Gutierrez. I am a graduate of Arizona State University School of Social Work. I'm very excited to be a part of the speaker series, and I'm thrilled to share with you a little bit about my platform, which I have recently created, called the SCAR Initiative, Stories of Courage and Resilience. And the title of my series is called SCAR, the Fabric of Who We Are. So I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about how I came to create the SCAR Initiative. We all have internal and external scars. Some are visible, some aren't. In my focus of the SCAR Initiative, I decided to take it a little step further, my inquisitiveness anyway, and talk to people about some of those physical and invisible scars that we have. So one day I was sitting in my office at work and I was actually looking at this scar on my elbow right here. So over the summer, I fell off my bike. I had a pretty nasty accident. I was cycling and I got this really weird keloid scar on my elbow. And so I was just sitting at work and I was thinking about all the different scars that people have. And I'm really interested to hear about how scars appear, or what is it that causes that scar to happen. So I took it a step further and I thought, what about those invisible scars that people have that we don't really talk about? We have various wounds about us, internal and external, but not very many people are really willing to share those stories unless asked. And even then it can be really challenging and difficult for people to share their stories. So what I did was I thought, let me find a way to really connect people to one another. And the point of the SCAR Initiative is to provide voice, value, and purpose to our individual, physical, and invisible scars to help promote healing through storytelling. Exposing our scars can be extremely vulnerable, and the focus of the initiative invites people to share their stories as a way to not only promote healing for themselves, but to open the door for others to explore their own healing journey too. Anybody who participates as a part of the SCAR Initiative is a really important dynamic as to inspire meaningful change and sharing the connections and experiences to foster a sense of purpose and empathy and influence, especially in this really chaotic, challenging world that we're living in right now. So I want to take a minute to talk to you a little bit about my SCAR story and where this came from. I'm a military veteran. I'm a social worker. I'm a military spouse. I wear many hats around here. I'm a fur mom. I'm a daughter, a wife, you name it. It's probably something that I have done before. What I didn't realize whenever I separated from the Air Force in 2016 was how my traumatic brain injury and my depression and anxiety, which none had been diagnosed yet, that I was able to understand anyway. I just felt that there was something different about me. I didn't realize at the time how that would be impacting me today. So in 2016, I was in a brand new area here in Georgia. My husband and I had just moved from England, where we were stationed, to a new base, and I was alone. I had no friends, no family, no car. I had an empty house because this was a brand new area. My husband had his job and everything. I didn't have anything. So I was feeling completely invisible, alone, and worthless. I was applying to every job I could think of under the sun. Nobody would hire me. I either felt extremely underqualified or overqualified, but nobody would give me a chance. So I sank into this really deep depression, and it just got the best of me. I started feeling really just pretty pathetic, to be honest. It was hard. I couldn't quite put my finger on what I needed to do to change my circumstance. Well, eventually I came across a few different ways that I could get involved in my community. I started volunteering. I started finding ways to give back beyond the uniform. And then, of course, I decided to enroll in grad school. Arizona State was a part of my story and part of what helped me and saved my life. I'm not ashamed now to say that I did have some of those suicidal ideations because I didn't know what to do with myself. And it was just a crazy time for me, thinking back and reflecting on it now, how I could have those thoughts, especially as a social work student and especially as a veteran. I should know better. But the story that I had is what helped and compelled me to seek and ask for help. And I realized it's okay to ask for help. So the SCAR Initiative is a way for our stories of courage and resilience to be highlighted, to show that they matter, and for people to understand that they're not alone. You are important, and it's really important for you to be heard. We often feel really alone and isolated, and now more than ever do we need that human interaction to inspire and influence change at all levels of social work. So what I want to talk to you about now is how the SCAR Initiative is really playing an important part in the grand challenges, of social work, and how we're looking to break down some of these challenges. So I've highlighted 5 different ways that the SCAR Initiative is playing a part. Number 1, we're eradicating social isolation. We're really deepening these social connections with one another. Number 2, we're harnessing technology for social good. Digital technology is connecting to people all over the world and all over the universe, wherever you're at, and it's bringing communities together, especially in this COVID world. Number 3, we're building healthy relationships to end violence. These lived experiences of oppression and interpersonal violence deeply impact families, and they're really rooted in systemic issues. So if we can help these stories discover new ways of implementing interventions and systems to deliver resources for assistance, we're making a major impact in ending this violence in communities and society. Number 4, we're creating social responses to a changing environment. We have to strengthen our individual and collective assets by acknowledging the scars that shape who we are. And number 5, we're achieving equal opportunity and justice. We're dismantling inequality, exposing injustices, and deconstructing stereotypes through personal stories, contributing to all sorts of issues. You name it, it matters. So what we really need to do is have these conversations about false narratives and stigmatized populations to provide equal and available access to housing, healthcare, education. And this is also going to impact federal and state laws to protect these marginalized communities. So now I want to shift the focus into how you play a part in the SCAR Initiative. So these are my calls of action to you. Number 1, make a commitment to talk to somebody about their SCAR story. Get to know how their SCAR has impacted their healing journey. Number 2, pledge to contact your state and federal leaders to support policies and legislation that positively affect mental and physical health arenas. Number 3, I encourage you to share your SCAR story with me. I'd love to feature your physical or invisible SCAR on the SCAR Initiative. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can visit my website, or you can email me. So I want to take a minute now to show you where you can visit the SCAR Initiative. So if you go to my website, right here we have it, the SCAR Initiative. It's at thescarinitiative.godaddyscience.com. And if you just scroll down into the other components of the site, you'll find that there's a little area here titled Share Your Story. So if you click on the box that says Schedule an Interview, it'll take you to my Calendly, which then will provide you an opportunity to look through various dates, to pick a time and date that's best suited for you. So you're more than welcome to connect with me on social media. There's some of the stories I've already featured. So you connect with me on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can also email me here at thescarinitiative@gmail.com. I'm really excited to share this with you. Again, your story is important. It matters. It has value, purpose, and reason. Get out there and don't be afraid to share your story. I'm looking forward to hearing your story. Thank you so much for listening to SCAR, the fabric of who we are.